Welcome to another episode of Plant Fanatics. Today we're talking about the most cold hardy citrus trees on the planet, so stay tuned. Before we delve into this list, I just wanted to say that I've chosen some of my favorite cold hardy varieties of citrus to start, and then we're going to work our way into what are truly the most cold hardy varieties of citrus on the planet. The first tree on our list is the Citramello hardy grapefruit. The hardy grapefruit tree is a hybrid tree that's a mix of the hardy orange and the pomelo grapefruit. Being cold hardy down to 20 degrees Fahrenheit, it's certainly not the most cold hardy variety of citrus on this list. However, it is the most cold hardy variety of grapefruit, and that's why this tree made the cut. The fruit actually tastes like a mixture between a lemon and a grapefruit, so it does have that grapefruit taste for you grapefruit lovers. And if you live in a little bit colder planting zone, this is definitely the tree you're going to want to get your hands on. The root system of this tree is very vigorous, and it's resistant to a lot of root diseases, which makes it a great choice as an understock in grafting. However, the fruit of this tree is pretty good, and I would say it has its place in the garden. Next up on the list, we have the Kumquat. If any of you have been watching my channel for any amount of time, you know that I love kumquats. Something that's totally unique about the kumquat in the citrus world is the fact that you actually eat the skin and the inner flesh. The skin is actually going to be what's sweet about the fruit, and the inner flesh is going to be what's sour. Most of the citrus trees, you are not going to eat the outer skin. Now, you might use it as a zest in cooking. However, you're not going to want to eat it because it's usually going to be pretty bitter. Moving on to the tree itself, it is cold hardy down to 18 degrees Fahrenheit, not the most cold hardy tree on the list yet again. However, it is a completely unique fruit. It deserves a place on this list. It's delicious. The tree is an evergreen tree like most citrus trees are. It has a beautiful foliage, and the contrast between the orange of the fruit and the green on the leaves just makes it a beautiful tree to have in your collection. As a potted plant, you can expect the tree to get somewhere in the vicinity of 5 to 6 feet. I can tell you from my personal experience, the kumquat is a very, very productive tree in the potted culture, so it's great for northern growers. So long story short, if you haven't added a kumquat tree to your collection, I highly recommend it. Don't wait another second because I promise you, you're going to love it. Next up on our list is the Aang Lemon. This lemon tree is not one to disappoint. The fruit is actually quite large. It does have a few seeds in there for anybody that doesn't like seeds, but let's not kid ourselves. Most people are not going to be eating a lemon like they would eat an orange, so the seeds really aren't that big of a deal. This lemon is just like any other lemon. It's great for using in juices, great for using in desserts. And so for that reason, it makes it all that much better that this tree is cold hardy to 10 to 15 degrees Fahrenheit. Now I know some of you guys might be thinking, I can't plant this in the ground where I live. It's just a little too cold. That's going to be okay because this tree can easily be grafted onto a dwarfed rootstock and put into a pot, and it will be fine. It'll still give you plenty of fruit. No problem. So with all that being said, there's nothing to complain about here. We have a lemon that has a much greater cold tolerance than other lemon trees. It's a good solid lemon with all the same uses as those other lemons, and it can be put in a little bit colder of a planting zone. So this is just another great one to add to the collection if you live in a colder planting zone and you don't have it. Next up on the list, we have the Arctic Frost Satsuma. This is a very exciting tree to add to the list because an Arctic Frost Satsuma is actually a mandarin hybrid. So if you love those little cuties from the store, you're going to love this fruit. It's very easy to peel. It's a very sweet, tasty fruit, and it has been tested and shown to have survived 9 degrees Fahrenheit at Texas A&M. With that being said, it is best practice that you give this tree a couple of years growing in a pot, let it get a little age to it because the younger the tree is, the worse it's going to do in those cold temperatures that you want it to survive. While this is going to take a little bit of patience and a couple of years, it's awesome that you'll be able to grow this tree outside eventually. And once again, if it's too cold where you live to grow this tree outside, it does great in the potted culture and mandarins are very, very productive trees in pots. Therefore, it's a great one to grow in a northern planting zone. I have started to see this tree be available at some of my local nurseries, and I've seen it in some nurseries while I've been traveling across the country, so it might be a little easier in the future for you to get your hands on this one. And as always, you can find it online and have it shipped to your house, and they'll ship it to you in the proper season. If you don't have this one, go ahead and get it. You're not going to be disappointed. Next up on the list is one that I'm super excited for because I have a great story to tell you, and it's the Yuzu. The Yuzu is an amazing tree to add. It is hardy all the way down to 0 degrees Fahrenheit, and I actually planted one of these in my backyard, and a few years ago it got down to negative 15 degrees Fahrenheit. While the top growth of this tree did die back to the roots, the tree actually started to come back from the roots. So I will tell you, this is a very cold hardy tree, and the fruit on it is not bad either. It'd be great in juices, it'd be great to use in desserts, and the zest is definitely good to use in cooking. The flowers on this tree are extremely aromatic, and if nothing else, it's great just to walk outside and get hit with that wonderful citrus flower fragrance. It is a very sour fruit comparable to that of a lemon. Therefore, it's not going to be the best fruit to eat fresh, but it does have a lot of uses like I told you earlier, and it's a great tree to add to the list. If you don't have it, get it. And now for the most cold hardy citrus tree, hands down, you've all been waiting for it. It's going to be the Trifoliate Orange. This tree is cold hardy all the way to negative 10 degrees Fahrenheit. The fruit on it, while some people say is not very good, I personally like it, but you do have to be careful because if you decide that you're going to make like what they call an orangeade out of it, it can upset some people's stomach. It kind of has a latex type of texture to it. It can make your hands very sticky, especially if you're trying to get those seeds out of it. So do be careful about that. However, negative 10 degrees for a citrus tree is absolutely crazy. The flowers on it are extremely aromatic. You're going to get that citrus smell that everybody loves. And on top of that, it's a citrus tree that you can grow outdoors in zone 5. I mean, you can't complain with that. While there are a lot of great qualities about this citrus tree, something that you do need to be aware of is that the thorns on this tree are relentless. If there is a fruit on the inside of the tree, you might as well forget about it, because if you try to reach your hand in there, you're going to be stabbed several times and it will hurt. These thorns are what I like to call a real thorn. We've all seen the little thorns that are on things such as rose bushes. These are not thorns like that. These are very big, very pointy, very dangerous thorns. So a lot of pruning can be necessary when this tree is growing into a larger size to make it more manageable to reach on the inside of the tree and grab those fruits. That's just something that you have to be aware of. Outside of that, it is a very beautiful contorted tree, and it adds a lot of beauty to the landscape. And for that reason, I think it's a great one to add to the collection. I do have to say that it can be somewhat invasive because these trees will drop to the ground and they will sprout up, so keep that in mind. It does need to be kept in check. The Trifoliate Orange is the number one rootstock used in the citrus world, especially when it comes to potted citrus trees. This is because it's a naturally dwarfed tree. It takes a while for the tree to grow, and it also allows the tree to still be highly productive. So, for that reason, it's a great tree to use as a rootstock. If you don't have this one, get it. Thanks so much for watching the video, guys. If you like the content, subscribe to the channel, leave a like on the video, and share with any of your friends who are looking for cold hardy citrus trees. Thanks so much.